Namaskar, everyone. So, welcome to Sunday morning. Today, I want to speak on consciousness. In the sense that we're on a journey in consciousness. The journey is all about consciousness, not about your form, not about energy. Energy is where the tools are. But consciousness. How much consciousness do we have? And it's a journey from ignorance to enlightenment. Enlightenment simply means knowing all that you are, beyond the shadow of a doubt. So, where are you on the consciousness ladder? And how do you recognize where you are? Do you agree that life is a journey in consciousness? That it's a journey about opening up your consciousness to seeing more, knowing more, understanding more, and using that knowing and that power that you get from more awareness, more knowledge, using it in all your relationships to uncover more consciousness. So the journey is, in everything that you're involved in, to become more and more conscious of what? Of the universe? Yeah, by all means, the universe. But how do you get there? By first uncovering your own individual consciousness. Because as you do so, you will have the awareness to appreciate what is in the world around you. It does not begin without you transforming your own inner space. So all of this chanting, all of this meditation, all of this savor that you do, all these group conversations that you have, it's all about opening up consciousness. So when you sit down to hear the chant, do you think that you are sitting down to have a happy time? I mean, we do in the energy field. And when you're reading Sri Guru Gita, is it about just singing lines? No. Guru Gita is a mystical formula. I savor every word of it. Of course, I love Sanskrit. And then the meaning, I've gone through the meaning of the Sanskrit words. And I appreciate when I'm chanting them. And that started from Ganeshpuri, where I learned the Guru Gita. My Sanskrit pronunciation developed over time, of course. When we chanted in Ganeshpuri for the time I was there, we didn't understand Sanskrit, all of us were Westerners. And I don't think the Indian people as well, because it's a classical language. But every verse showed me a path. And that's why we chanted. And when you chanted and you listen to my voice, that's only one level. When you listen to the sound of mantras that I repeat and enjoy, that's only one level. What about the other levels that I'm chanting with? If you're conscious enough, you'll realize that Vasudeva is not just singing. Vasudeva is an experience. And you don't capture that unless you become more conscious. So that journey in consciousness is what will lift us out of the Maya, out of the ignorance. That journey in consciousness, that is where the secret lies. How much consciousness have I uncovered in this lifetime from all the experiences I have had? How much consciousness have I uncovered? Am I more conscious? And I'll tell you how you know. If you're in body consciousness, then you haven't traveled the inner world. If your life is all about the senses, the eating, the smelling, the tasting, the touching, the hearing, then you haven't ascended in the inner world. If when you're speaking to someone, you only see a form, and you only gather the sensory perceptions or information or exchanges, you haven't ascended in consciousness. And you can be no different to the animals around. This body we carry is an animal body. It has basic primal intelligence, but it needs a driver inside it to maintain the consciousness. That we call the soul. The Master Christ said, "For where your treasure is, there your heart will be also." So when your life is all about the physical world and physicality and body consciousness, that's where your treasure will be. Dying treasure, a changing treasure. Nothing in this world, absolutely nothing. No house, no office, no title. It's going to go to the beyond. You spend a lot of time trying to accumulate the money in the bank, trying to get more and more titles, more and more degrees. If you didn't learn anything from that in terms of improving your consciousness, then all a waste of time. Life is about transformation in consciousness. If you have no title, no degree, no education, but you have lifted your consciousness through your own intelligence, you've gained more than anybody else with all those possessions. So who are the fools in the world? The one who will be living in the caves? We think that they're running away from life, they're escaping. Or the ones who are trying to improve the consciousness every day. Who are the wise ones? The ones who are improving the consciousness every day, no matter where they are, no matter what they do. Their goal is to be more aware. And the secret of being more aware, I'll tell you, because I made a journey, is that when you are with a person, you don't see only a form, you feel energies. You can experience the presence of the person, and not just an energy presence or an aura, but their transmissions from every chakra level, you can pick it up in you. It will be mirrored in you. The more conscious you become is the more conscious of every level of energy that you become. The Christ said, "In my Father's house," and he said, "The kingdom lies within, kingdom of heaven." He said, "In my Father's house there are many mansions." These mansions of the soul are called, in the ancient Hindu tradition, they're called lokas. This is Bhuloka. This is only one of them. We become aware of every loka, and that's an excitement. That's a tremendous excitement, because you can feel the heart energy of a person. And you will communicate with a person even though the languages that you speak may not be understood by both parties, each other language. The heart will speak. The emotions will speak. And you can become great friends, even though the language might be a limitation. Heart speaking to heart. And then when you are really in higher states of mind and heart, you can almost know what the other person is thinking. Or in fact, you can know. Even though, again, the verbal language is different. You'll pick up the images in the mind. You'll pick up the thoughts that are in the other, the intentions. You'll pick it up clearly in your consciousness. But because we are compromised, we think we pick up. And we don't really pick up. A lot of misinterpretations, misperceptions, simply because we think we know. But our references are our own thoughts and perceptions, our filters. So we see the world as we are. Our level of consciousness is dependent on what we are, who we think we are. When the Master of Christ was asked, Master, who are you? He said, who do you think I am? That's your reality. What you think I am. How could he tell them who he was? Who would understand? Who would believe? He tried. They crucified him. That's why people of higher consciousness in this world have to not get caught in the masses. There's still a lot of darkness. You cannot air your view or be an activist for the truth. Otherwise, you'll be killed very quickly. You have to learn how to disguise, how to be like them but not of them. And slowly inspire, not outside, inside. Bhagavad Gita says, don't unsettle the minds of the ignorant. You know what that can be. Christ said, don't cast pearls before swines. But Bhagavad Gita says, the great person should be an example. Should do what you want the others to do. So the wise ones in the world are more silent. They inspire by their presence and by their examples. But we are in a world of growing consciousness. So every day, the moment you wake up, going through your entire day should be, how can I improve my seeing? Because I know I'm not seeing fully. And I remember that very distinctly. In 1974, I was just 20 years old, but I was totally depressed with everything around me. Nothing could make me happy. I remember going to the spiritual circles, I'm sitting there, and there's just a blank screen. I can't go further. I remember going to my heart chakra and looking for something there. Just a pain. I remember striving to know more, and just a blank over. So I know what it is to try to improve your consciousness and see only blank. And feel so helpless and hopeless. So I decided to go to India, travel through India. I gave up everything here. In fact, I separated so much with everything, just shared everything that I had and left. So I wouldn't have to come back. 20 years old. Ganesh Puri changed all of that. The ashram of Baba Muktanand. And the sweet and precious blessings of Sri Satya Sai Baba. That changed everything in India for me. In the ashram, you see a beautiful picture of both of them. My first trip to India was influenced by both. When I had this explosive experience in the ashram of Ganesh Puri, not even meeting the Guru. Such is the power of an ashram. A whole new consciousness came. I never wrote home, Trinidad, but after that first week or so in Ganesh Puri, I went to Mumbai then, and I sent a card. I'm happy, finally. I found a place that I feel fulfilled in. And I'm on an amazing journey. From that, what urged me on was simply curiosity. Desperation had disappeared. I was no longer desperate. I'd seen a light at the end of the tunnel. I'd found a rope that could pull me on. Suddenly I could feel energy. What I never felt and struggled for in my heart and my mind, suddenly I could feel energy. The energy of my heart. Happiness just exuded from my being. It's like as if a floodgate was lifted. My life changed then. It was a shift in consciousness. And I got so curious about this because I had read so many books on mysticism. I got so curious about what was unfolding, new perception. Every blade of grass, I carried the cow poop with joy. I carried the cow urine with joy, buckets. I shoveled the compost heap with joy. I pulled the grass with joy. And suddenly, my world came alive. I wasn't shunning people anymore. I was loving people. Somehow, a personality that existed in me manifested. I could feel all these qualities inside of me as though they were bottled up there, waiting to be released. And sadhana became a joy ever since. I found her inside of me. After 4 months in there, she was strong inside of me. She, Kundalini Shakti, I found the inner guru. And that's a whole other story. But that began my journey in consciousness. I searched in desperation when I was 20 years old, 1974. That's when my life changed. And I stayed in that path. And even more exciting, the world that I had given up, the academic world, the secular world, I went back into it. But different. I didn't care for position, that came to me. I didn't care for money, that came to me. I didn't care for anything, but it came to me in the most beautiful ways. I know she guided it. And she made me master the outer world before I started this organization. She took me through the journey of the inner world, and she took me through the journey of the outer world. What more can I ask for? Am I impatient about anything? This facility doesn't ever seem to stop in growing. I don't think it will ever stop. But at least I will see all the foundations laid that are important to me. And then other generations will grow it because it has no end. This is a vehicle for the yogas. So the blue star will go as she intends. She provided the name. She brought me into the state. She brought me into the incarnation. She will determine everything. At the moment, she's looking after my well-being. I can't tell you that all the things that disturb me, that I feel that are limiting my well-being, the solutions just start coming, one after the other. And I see how she provides, even in that sense, taking care of my well-being at every level. What can I say? What can I say? She's been the guru, she's been the mother, she's been the father, she's been the guide. What can I say? She made me appreciate the outer guru. She opened my eyes to see that everything is divine. What can I say? I live in happiness. I need no title. I need no office. I'm going to leave all these things behind when I go, but happily. Happily. And I will withdraw from this world gloriously. I'm already in the state, in the fulfillment. The hard work has gone. This is fulfillment. The dreams are being realized of a center for well-being, of an eco-community, of disciples who will carry this on effectively. My dreams are being realized. She placed me in the perfect home. She placed me in the perfect island. She placed me in the perfect environment. What can I ask for more? I hope that you can align with her, and you can continuously lift your consciousness through everything that you're doing. Don't waste time, because in a world that is compromised like this, you never know what will happen with the health if you don't take charge of it. Body can shut down because we don't have enough knowledge for physical well-being. We are taught so many things that are wrong. I don't like to use the word wrong, but not right, certainly. The beauty is that life is not at random. It's perfectly orchestrated by karma. Nothing happens out of order. I remember one day as a young boy waiting for the car. And I saw when this vehicle was coming, and I'm watching this accident happen. And watch how the front part of the car is. There was a crash, and the front part of the car is damaged. Not a fatal accident. And I'm thinking, how does these things happen just like that? But I know. Even something like that that looked so random, an accident, was already part of the play. The death of someone is part of the play. The birth of someone is part of the play. Who meet, everything is part of the play. We need to appreciate that nothing is out of order in this world. But I've said so much for this Sunday already. Please forgive me. I got into the talkative mood. Such a joy to speak about my life and to speak about the world. So let me wish you a marvelous Sunday. Continue to aspire to grow your consciousness. I hope that all of you will have an amazing day. Or continue to. It's always a joy being with you. Always. My life is about that. So until our next meeting, thank you everyone. Namaskar.